Hello, I am Maru, an amateur music creator, and I have been making Japanese playlists as a hobby for over a year now. In this guide, I will just like to share and give some tips so you can start finding more Japanese music for you. I will also be posting a public blog that you can find in the description below, which will contain all the information you need. Please also note that this is just my general overview of the Japanese music scene today. You can start wherever you want and listen to whatever music you like, and I apologize as well if I cannot cover everything in this video. With that out of the way, let's begin. One of the easiest ways to get into Japanese music is actually through anime. Anime will certainly introduce you to a lot of popular Japanese bands and artists while also being entertained. But I'm guessing many of you probably already know this, or some of you just want to listen to the music, so let's dive deeper. Since the past, YouTube recommendations have introduced me to many Japanese songs. If you are on YouTube a lot, chances are you have also been recommended to one of these Japanese songs. These channels are what I would call the YouTube algorithm masters, because even if you are not subscribed to these channels, for some reason YouTube will keep recommending you one of these videos. A few examples are Yoasobi and Ayase, Eve, Ado, Yama, ZUTOMAYO, and many more. In my blog, I will list a ton more popular channels, but if you would like to see more recommendations for smaller Japanese artists, feel free to subscribe because I am planning to make a video on that. A specific YouTube channel that I also highly recommend is The First Take. They feature Japanese artists ranging from the biggest down to the smaller artists. Their concept is pretty simple. All the artists have one take to record and that's it. Now, if you like looking at charts and checking out the top songs in Japan, I recommend checking out YouTube Music Charts. It's a great tool, it's easy to use, and it's always updated. Another method I can recommend is through Japanese record labels. Many of them have their own YouTube channels, and you will definitely discover a ton of new artists. On some, you can simply head down to the channel tab, and over there you will see all the artists they handle. I personally don't subscribe to these record labels, especially the bigger ones, since they post a lot of videos which will fill up your subscription feed, and I prefer subscribing to the individual pages of the artists. Lastly, a way you can discover Japanese music on YouTube is through playlist channels like mine or people who repost older albums or songs. This is the least reliable way, as this type of videos are harder to encounter and it can be like a lottery before YouTube starts recommending it to you. So here are some videos you can watch if you don't know where to start. A great playlist video is Japanese indie rock songs by Hasuyi. An album that's great for starters is Ryo Fukui Scenery 1976. After watching this video, I am not kidding, YouTube started recommending me more Japanese music. If you still also haven't watched Stay With Me by Miki Matsubara and Plastic Love by Maria Takeuchi, these are also essential to go through if you want YouTube to recommend you more Japanese songs. But apart from that, if you don't want to wait for YouTube recommendations, you really need to search songs manually, and in my blog, you can find some resources that should help you get started. I am not sponsored nor affiliated with Spotify, but I highly recommend their service. Playlists that are made by Spotify are regularly updated, and it is also well organized. If you're looking for a specific Japanese genre, Spotify probably has one. A few of my favorites are Tokyo Super Hits, Tokyo Rising, Anime Now, and Edge. Aside from the playlist Spotify makes, I also recommend others like Pluto Selection and Playlist Off, which creates tons of weekly playlists. Why I also recommend Spotify is because of its This Is Future. Most Spotify artists will have this, and it's just an easy way to listen and have it automatically updated when the specific artist releases a new song. Now, if you want to dive deep in the rabbit hole for Spotify, I recommend checking out the Sounds of Spotify. It is playlists that are made from deep algorithms, and it is very fun to explore. To find a specific genre, go to everynoise.com and hit Ctrl F on your keyboard to search. Once you have a genre, simply head to Spotify and type the sound off and then your chosen genre. I honestly don't have that much experience exploring Japanese music on other platforms, but if you use iTunes 90% of the time, if a specific Japanese song is available on Spotify, it will also be on iTunes, and sometimes on other platforms as well if it's a bigger artist. With SoundCloud though, I mostly noticed that only smaller or starting Japanese artists use it. The other popular music streaming apps in Japan are Line Music and Awa Music, which I can only recommend if you're living there. Now, if you really want to dive deep in this rabbit hole, this is it. One of the biggest online communities I know for this is Reddit Japanese Music. They really have tons of resources and news you'll ever need. If you're looking for a specific type of Japanese music genre, especially if it's a niche one, you might find the answers here. But aside from this, no tutorial will save you beyond this. If you really want to go further, you either have to learn the Japanese language if you want to browse Japanese websites, or actually live in Japan if you want to stay updated in the Japanese music scene. I'm sure there are a lot more ways to discover Japanese songs, but these guides are what I found to be the easiest way to get in, especially if you're new and don't understand Japanese. I know I've only managed to scratch the surface, but there is a ton more I haven't talked about, like the VTuber side, Vocaloid, the Japanese hip-hop scene, the indie scene, Japanese EDM, traditional music, and other niche genres. But wherever you start, just have fun. If you are new to this channel and have reached this part, I also make anime or random videos about my life in this channel, so if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe, and you can even support me in Patreon like the lovely people you see on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on my next video.